The Byzantine Empire, as the eastern continuation of the Roman state, inherited a complex legal heritage. By the 9th century CE, Roman law, especially the monumental codifications of Emperor Justinian in the 6th century, the Corpus Juris Civilis, was already centuries old and written primarily in Latin. While the Justinian Code had preserved the Roman legal tradition, the Byzantine world was Greek-speaking, and the language barrier, along with evolving social realities, created the need for a legal reform. Enter Emperor Leo VI, known as Leo the Wise, r. 886 to 912 CE. His ambition was not merely to translate Justinian's codifications but to adapt Roman law to Byzantine society. This project culminated in the creation of the Basilika, a massive Greek-language legal compilation that reshaped Roman law for a new cultural and linguistic context. The Basilika was not a single work but a multi-volume collection, sometimes spanning 60 books, organized to cover the full spectrum of civil and criminal law, administrative rules, and ecclesiastical law. Its composition involved translating and revising Justinian's Codex, Digest, Institutes, and Novelli into Greek, but it went further. Leo's team reinterpreted and modernized legal provisions to fit the Byzantine society of the 9th and 10th centuries. This included simplifications of the sometimes convoluted Roman legal formulations, reorganizations to improve clarity, and practical commentary to guide judges and lawyers in daily practice. One of the most striking features of the Basilika is its systematic structure. Roman law, as preserved in Justinian's codices, had accumulated over centuries and often included contradictions and redundancies. The Basilika reorganized this material logically, starting with procedural rules, moving to private law, contracts, property, family, then criminal law, and finally administrative and ecclesiastical provisions. This systematic approach made the law more accessible to Greek-speaking jurists and judges who had previously struggled with Latin legal texts. Leo's work also reflected the Byzantine world's evolving political and social realities. By the 9th century, the empire had undergone waves of territorial change, religious transformation, and economic development. New institutions, such as the thematic system for provincial governance and the increasing influence of the Orthodox Church in legal affairs, required legal codifications that addressed contemporary problems. The Basilika incorporated ecclesiastical norms alongside civil law, demonstrating a uniquely Byzantine synthesis of sacred and secular authority, a fusion that Roman law in its classical form had only partially achieved. The impact of the Basilika was long-lasting. By translating Roman law into Greek and adapting it for contemporary needs, Leo ensured that Byzantine jurisprudence remained coherent and authoritative for centuries. Even after the fall of Constantinople in 1453, the Basilika influenced legal thought in Orthodox Christian regions, including Russia and the Balkans. In essence, it became a bridge between Roman legal tradition and the modern legal systems of Eastern Europe. Another fascinating aspect of the Basilika is its approach to language. Latin legal terms often had no direct Greek equivalent. Leo's jurists developed a rich Greek legal vocabulary, combining literal translations, semantic adaptations, and explanatory glosses. This linguistic transformation was not merely cosmetic, it made law intelligible to practitioners, students, and administrators across the Byzantine world, creating a shared legal culture that reinforced imperial authority. Moreover, the Basilika reflected Leo's intellectual vision. Leo VI was renowned as a scholar and theologian, and the legal reform was part of his broader attempt to systematize knowledge. The Basilika was not only a practical tool but also a reflection of Byzantine intellectual life. It sought to unify law, morality, and governance under a coherent Greek framework, demonstrating how law could serve both state administration and moral order. Despite its brilliance, the Basilika also had challenges. Its sheer size and complexity meant that only trained jurists could navigate it fully. Furthermore, as a living legal document, it required periodic supplementation through imperial constitutions, novelli, commentaries, and interpretations by jurists. Nevertheless, the foundation laid by Leo the Wise endured, making the Basilika a cornerstone of Byzantine legal history. In summary, the Basilika represents a critical moment in the history of law, the transformation of Roman law from a Latin, Western Mediterranean tradition into a Greek, Byzantine one. Leo the Wise did more than translate, he systematized, modernized, and culturally adapted centuries of legal tradition to the realities of his empire. By doing so, he preserved the Roman legal legacy while making it distinctly Byzantine, ensuring its survival for centuries and influencing legal thought far beyond Constantinople. The story of the Basilica is not merely a tale of legal translation, it is an example of how law evolves with society, language, and culture. It shows the dynamism of the Byzantine Empire, where the ancient Roman past was not static but a living resource to be molded, adapted, and renewed. In Leo's hands, Roman law became Greek law without losing its foundational principles, illustrating the resilience and adaptability of legal systems across time and space.